All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is CJ Curry. It's the CJ Curry Show presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks, making daily fantasy sports easy for you. All you do is pick your favorite superstars from your favorite sports. 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 different picks can win you up to 25 times your money in a single night. So if you're not playing on PrizePicks yet and you want to get a 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit up to $100, all you do is go down to the description of today's video, click the link down there that I've provided, or you can use promo code Curry when you make your first deposit. All right, gang? Huge NBA slate tonight. Loving the games that I'm seeing. A lot of high total games. I mean, there's multiple 230 plus point total games on the slate. So I'm loving what I'm seeing there. None of the spreads look ridiculous. No double digit spreads, no 10, 11 point spreads from what I can tell. But we'll get into that in just a minute. But everything looks really nice tonight for a good game, or a good slate of NBA games, I should say. And yeah, I'm showing love for my Philadelphia Eagles. We got a big game coming up this Sunday, obviously, against the San Francisco 49ers. NFC Championship game. Winner goes on to the Super Bowl. Loser goes home. So hopefully my Philadelphia Eagles can get it done. I've got high hopes for us. So far, they have yet to disappoint. Who do you think wins, though? You got Philadelphia or San Francisco? You got Cincinnati or you got Kansas City? Who do you guys think is going to the Super Bowl? A little bit of NFL talk to get the chat popping this morning. Speaking of the chat, I want to run through your comments and everything. Todd Live for Sundays is in the building. Shout out to you. He's saying, smash that like button. Yeah, you guys were crazy yesterday. You kept me on stream. We ran the show for 3.5 hours yesterday. You really took it out of me. It was exhausting, man. But I had a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys uncovered some gems from yesterday's show. So we'll get back into doing some player prop research here in just a few moments. Everyday Fantasy's here. He says, what to do, fam? Shout out to the chef and Patreon, Patrick Williams, 0.5 steals. That was Everyday Fantasy's play, and yes, it did end up working out. He says he's on a live stream heater. Better get with the Patreon and hit the like button ASAP. Hey, I appreciate you. That's my guy, Don P111. If you guys are in Discord, if you are Patreon members, you know Don P always lacing us with some nice little picks there. So appreciate you. Ricky Carroll says, good morning, gang. What do you guys think about Michael Conley Jr. over 10.5 points? That could be a move. Jeremy Tomlinson's here. He says, let's get it. Hump Day Dallas. Love that energy, my friend. D'Angelo's in the building, says, good morning, gang. Have officially banned the city of Boston, minus Derek White. Yeah, Derek White played some pretty good basketball yesterday. I was on some Jason Tatum under PRA. Probably should have taken the under points, because he did stay under his points prop from what I remember. But man, he was just doing it all. Rebounding, assists. I really thought that the Miami Heat were going to give him problems. And I think that they would have if Jimmy Butler played. But Jimmy Butler was ruled out after I had already locked in some Jason Tatum unders. So unfortunately, you get burned sometimes. When you go and you make these entries a little too early, sometimes you get burned. And last night was a good example of that. And then on the flip side of that game, man, we had Tyler Herro not showing up, right? It was Tyler Herro without Jimmy Butler against Boston, a team he'd had really good success against. And Tyler Herro absolutely shot like dog crap. He was terrible. And he was playing against what? A bunch of backup guys. You got Derek White and Peyton Pritchard and, Grant Williams. Like a lot of guys that would normally be on the bench. And the Heat, for whatever reason, both him and Kyle Lowry, the veterans on the team, could not get it going against Boston Celtics. So that one absolutely stung. It stung. Anyway, Mario's in the building, says, what's good, gang? Let's win today. I've been on a cold streak. I feel you. It's been up and down all season, man. This season has been very volatile from what I remember last season being like. Kyle's in the building. Shout out to Kyle for being here. Blake, what's up to you? Tyrone's in the building, says, good morning, gang. Y'all take it easy on my man CJ today. Yeah, you guys strung me along for 3.5 hours with your super chats. Listen, I love the super chats. I love it. But 3.5 hours, I can't do that every day. I'm just saying. For one person to carry a show for 3.5 hours, that's quite a feat. That's quite an effort. Al Pink's here. He says, hey, CJ and everyone, great show yesterday. Was that a recorded live stream? I had 2 pages. Was that a record live stream? It was pretty close. I've only streamed that long maybe twice since I've been doing the show. Yesterday was absolutely crazy, though. You guys, you brought your questions for sure. Alex says, bang, bang, Niner gang. No. You dirty gold diggers. You're going home. You're going back to San Francisco, all right? You come to Philly, We're gonna beat the brakes off you. I hope. We'll see. Todd says he thinks Cincinnati goes into KC and takes care of business. All right. Jeff Williams says Chef Boyardee's picks good. I love that. Dante says what's good. What's good to you, Dante? Glad that you're here again. Brian, good morning to you. Hayes says Harrell was playing like trash yesterday. You ain't never lied, man. Hayes, you ain't never lied. Harrell was playing awful. Neville, shout out to you. King United, what's up? Caesar, did you have a snack in case this is a 5-hour stream? No, I did not. No, I purposely skip breakfast. I go without breakfast, man. I do not eat breakfast. So when that lunchtime comes around, I'm ready to eat some lunch. So y'all made it worth it, though. I'll say that. Y'all made it worth it for me to hang around for so long yesterday. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and pick a winner. All right. Maybe you're joining me for the first time. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. We pick a winner from the previous show's comment section each and every day. That winner will receive a risk-free two-pick power play on PrizePicks to win $100 if they get both picks right. $100 is deposited into your PrizePicks account. So I know a lot of folks out there, you said, hey, the NBA's been tough lately. Hey, I've been struggling. I've been on a cold streak. Well, listen, this is a way for you to get some promo credits added to your PrizePicks account. And of course, those promo credits can then be converted into actual credits, which then can be withdrawn if you want and put into your bank account. All right. So giving away a risk-free two-pick power play today to win $100, selecting somebody from yesterday's comment section. All you have to do, be a subscriber. All right. Hit that subscribe button. We picked up a lot of new subscribers yesterday. I appreciate everybody's effort in spreading the word about the show, the channel. We're on our way to 8,000 subscribers. I'd like to get it done by this week. It's going to be tough, but I can do it with your help. I can do it with your help. So make sure you're a subscriber, hit the like button, and then leave a comment on today's replay. So once I end the show, the replay gets posted to YouTube. Go to the comment section, comment your favorite pick, prop, or play of the day. Hopefully somebody sees it, they tails, and they win some money. We're looking to try to help other people, okay? So here's my way of giving back to you. Let's go ahead and pick ourselves a risk-free two-pick power play winner from yesterday's show, yesterday's comment section. Let me pull that up here. Boom. I've already got the comments loaded. We had a total of 28 unique comments, not quite as many comments, which is good news. If you did comment, that means you got a better chance of winning one of these risk-free two-pick power plays. So let's go ahead and select somebody. Again, if we get a duplicate, somebody who's been picked recently, we'll pick another person. We don't want to, pick the same person multiple days. You know what I'm saying? We'll try to get some fresh blood in here, some new winners in here. So let's see who we got. Chris Day. I think Chris is, I don't think Chris has won before. All right. Congratulations, Chris Day. You have scored yourself a risk-free two-pick power play on PrizePicks. You get both picks right. You're going to win $100. $100, man. That's a Benjamin Franklin in your pocket. Who doesn't want that? Chris said, CJ, did you ice the fingers after all that typing yesterday? Yeah, 3.5-hour stream yesterday. Crazy long show. Longest show I have been a part of. Great content today. Great show. Chris, I don't know if you're watching live. I haven't seen you in the chat this morning, but if you're watching live, my friend, I need you to DM me. DM me on Twitter at Curry the Creator, or jump into our free Discord. Link for the Discord, link for Twitter's down in the description of the video. Shoot me a DM. I need your PrizePicks email address so I can get this risk-free two-pick power play for an opportunity to win $100 added to your account, okay? So if you're not subscribed yet, if you haven't liked today's video, go ahead and do those two things. And then the only thing left to do if you want to get entered in to win tomorrow is leave a comment once I end today's show. Go down to the comment section and leave a comment on today's video. All right, congratulations to Chris Day, though. All right, moving on from there, let's go ahead and get our brains warmed up. We do that by playing some Larry Birdle. We're trying to figure out who today's mystery player is. All right, and we'll start with the thumbnail player of the day, which is my guy Steph Curry taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. High-scoring game. Looks like the total's going to be one that is going to be close, which is what we like to see. So, yeah. I think Steph Curry's going to be in a good spot going up against this Memphis Grizzlies squad. Of course, they faced each other in the playoffs, have faced each other a lot recently in recent years. And I think Steph Curry could be in a very good spot tonight. All right. So our first guess is Steph Curry. But what I could tell you about this guess is that it is not Steph Curry. This player's not a Golden State Warrior, nor is this player in the Western Conference or Pacific Division. So we're looking for a guard. Okay, we do have a green match here on guard. We know this player is a guard, somebody who's taller than 6'2", so we're looking like 6'3", 6'4". All right, we're close. We got a partial match on the height, meaning we're close. Close, but no cigar. 34 years old. That's going to be, I think, too old. Too old. And then we've got a jersey number of 30. We're looking for somebody with a jersey number lower than 30. All right, so we got to go Eastern Conference. I'm just going to throw out another guard. Me being the Orlando Magic fan that I am, I'm going to go with Jalen Suggs. I think that's a pretty solid guess. He's younger than 34, taller than 6'2". He does play guard. His jersey number's under number 30. I'm going to go with Jalen Suggs. Oh, my goodness. Not Jalen Suggs, but dude, we're really warm. We are really hot with the Jalen Suggs guess. All right, this player does happen to play for my team, the Orlando Magic. Eastern Conference Southeast Division, is a guard. Jalen Suggs a little bit too tall at 6'5". 21 years old. I'm not sure what's going on with the age today. Normally they tell us if it's too old, too young. Jersey number's too low at number 4 though. I think I might know who this is already off rip, but I'm going to go ahead. Let's reveal the silhouette. Yeah. I think I know who this is. That's not Paolo Banchero. It looks like Banchero's silhouette, but I think I know who this is. I got some guesses coming in. Cole Anthony. You guys think that's Cole Anthony? I honestly think this is Markelle Fultz. I don't know because of the age. It's not telling us any information about the age, whether this player's older or younger than 21. I'm assuming this player is younger than 34, though. Obviously, Orlando has a really young team. I'm kind of thinking this might be Markelle Fultz before his hair got a little bit longer. Before his hair got a little bit longer. Gabe Vincent? No, Gabe Vincent. All right, let's go with Cole Anthony. You guys are saying Cole Anthony. He kind of came into the league with long dreadlocks, I believe. So I kind of don't think this is him. Let's go with it, though. It is not Cole Anthony. All right, I didn't think it was. I kind of thought this was Markelle Fultz, maybe an older picture of Fultz before, again, his hair got a little bit longer. But with the Cole Anthony guess, he is 6'3". Jalen Suggs is 6'5", so we're looking for a player who's got to be 6'4" here. The jersey number for Cole Anthony way too high at 50, so that's why I'm thinking it's Fultz. Fultz rocks jersey number 20, I believe. Let me look. Dang, it's not Markelle Fultz. Yo, this is something's up here. Okay, that's not Markelle Fultz. All right, it's not Fultz. It's not Fultz. Gary Harris. You know what? That's who it is. It's Gary Harris. I wish they would have given us more with the age. I think the age column is like broken for some reason today, but not Markelle Fultz. But we got a lot of green here. I think it's got to be Gary Harris. I'm rocking with Gary Harris. You're probably right. Boom, there it is. Veteran Gary Harris, once a member of the Denver Nuggets. Now he's with the Orlando Magic. We acquired him in that trade that sent Aaron Gordon out to Denver, for those of you who didn't know. But yes, it is Gary Harris. Guard, 6'4". We don't know about his age. Like I said, I think the age category is broken for some reason, but he does wear jersey number 14. He's been a guy who's been mentioned in trade rumors recently. So shout out to whoever guessed Gary Harris. I don't know what's going on with Larry Birdle today, but yeah, the age situation really kind of threw me off. But it is Gary Harris. I don't know how old he is, and apparently neither does Larry Birdle. Neither does Larry Birdle. All right, let's get into today's NBA slate. Guys, I appreciate everybody being here. I see a lot of folks here who haven't subscribed yet. Hit the subscribe button. Get subscribed. We're on our way to 8,000. I want you to be a part of the show, part of the movement, part of what we do here on a daily basis. So get subscribed. Hey, turn those notifications on by ringing that bell if you want to. And definitely smash that like button. You guys killed it with the likes yesterday. We went over 100 likes, back-to-back shows. That's 2 shows in a row. We got a little streak going, all right? We're 2 for our last 2. 100% hit rate, averaging over 100 likes per game for all you stat heads out there. So let's go ahead and run those likes up to 100 again. All right, getting things started here. Speaking of my Orlando Magic, the Magic are going to be taking on the Indiana Pacers. Magic hosting the Pacers, coming off of a big win against the Boston Celtics. Shout out to my Orlando Magic. Total is 233.5. Love the total of this game. You're going to see that there's going to be a lot of games on today's slate of 230 plus points. which we love to see, especially if we want to take some overs, right? That's always a good sign. 6-point spread. They think Orlando is going to beat Indiana by at least 6 points. Indiana is coming off of a back-to-back. We saw them last night against the Chicago Bulls, so maybe fatigue plays a little bit of a factor here. Andrew Nembhard, the rookie, game time decision. Not sure if he's going to play or not. What I will tell you is this: TJ McConnell's been balling. Now listen, TJ McConnell balling is nothing new. If you guys have kept up with the NBA, daily fantasy sports, TJ McConnell's been a force to be reckoned with for a long time. I don't know why he doesn't get more love. The guy does it all: scores, rebounds, assists. He'll pick up some stocks for you at times. I love TJ McConnell. I'm just saying. Anyway, love the total on this game. Spread is 6. I think you could play any full game props that you want here. Obviously, Wendell Carter Jr., the Indiana Pacers do not guard opposing bigs very well, so he'll probably be in a really good spot. Banchero probably in a pretty good spot. It's just really hard to figure out who's going to do what for the Orlando Magic day in and day out, all right? Moving on to our 7:30 game. Two of the best teams in the East, the Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers. Brooklyn going to be without Kevin Durant. Obviously, he's still out. 29-17 record. Philadelphia 30-16 record, so they're right there neck and neck. Keep an eye on the process. Joel Embiid listed as a game time decision right now. No Furkan Korkmaz. He has been ruled out. 226 points on this game with a 5-point spread. This one should be a fun one to watch, but keep an eye on Joel Embiid. Obviously, if he's out, you'll probably see somebody slide into the center spot like Montrezl Harrell. He'll probably get the start against Nicholas Claxton. Anyway, moving on to our 8 o'clock game, we got Minnesota and New Orleans. This one's got a total of 230.5 points, another total of 230 or more. Spread is just 3 points here. We got Minnesota, New Orleans, Rudy Gobert game time decision. Jordan McLaughlin is out. Taurean Prince out. Karl Anthony Towns is still out for Minnesota. So the big one here is obviously going to be Rudy Gobert. If he's out, guys, Naz Reid will probably get the start going up against Joe Val. Valanciunas is on a back-to-back, as is the rest of this New Orleans Pelicans squad. They took on the Denver Nuggets last night, so maybe fatigue plays a little bit of a factor. Here's some good news, though. If you're a New Orleans Pelicans fan, Brandon Ingram is expected to play tonight. All right? He's a game-time decision, but we got a little green tick mark, which means he's closer to being probable than doubtful. So it'll be nice for Pelicans fans to get Brandon Ingram back in the mix. So it'll be McCollum, Ingram, Herbert Jones, maybe Najee Marshall. It was Najee Marshall's birthday yesterday. For whatever reason, he couldn't play. Maybe got hung over from the night before or something. And then Joe Val, obviously, starting at center. Outside of that, no Zion Williamson. He's still out. But love the total here, 230.5 with a 3-point spread. And, of course, getting Brandon Ingram back is always good, even if you're not a Pelicans fan. If you're just a fan of basketball, having Ingram out there is always a good time. 8 o'clock. Washington on a back-to-back themselves. Obviously, they took on the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. Had some good games by Kyle Kuzma. He played pretty well. Bradley Beal, I think, ended up going over his points prop. We saw Beal play 30 minutes. I think Beal's probably in a good spot again tonight, depending on how many minutes the Washington Wizards want to give him. We should see the debut of Kendrick Nunn, who was just traded for Rui Hachimura. Kendrick Nunn coming from the Lakers. Hachimura obviously going to the Lakers. Kristaps Porzingis is out again tonight, so it'll be Kuzma and Beal mostly carrying the load offensively for the Washington Wizards. But don't be surprised if Kendrick Nunn finds himself getting some playing time tonight and making his debut for his new team. On the Houston side of things, Jabari Smith Jr., the Rook, game time decision. Still no Kevin Porter Jr., all right? Which means my guy Alperen Şengün, I don't know what his assist prop is looking like, but I think tonight is a good night to play Şengün, whether it be points, rebounds, or assists. He's been filling it up lately. He's starting to turn into that Domantas Sabonis or Nikola Jokic type of player, right? One of those 6'10", 7-foot big men who could do a little bit of everything, who could score, who could board, and who can pass the rock and get you 6, 7, 8 dimes on any given night. So Şengün against Gafford, yeah, I think sign me up for that. 231.5 and just a 3-point spread. So that game looks like it's going to be another one of those ones. I'm telling you, tonight's slate's looking really good. Hopefully we don't have blowouts. A lot of these games are high scoring. A lot of these games have pretty close, tight spreads here. Denver at Milwaukee. This could be an eventual NBA Finals matchup if everything goes right for these two teams. Denver 34-14, Milwaukee 30-17. We've got Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray taking on the likes of Giannis, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday tonight. Bones Highland did not play last night. This is a back-to-back for Denver, by the way. Michael Porter Jr. was also out. I think both of those guys were out, if I'm not mistaken. They're both game-time decisions tonight. Keep an eye on their statuses. That would shake things up, obviously, if they can't go. For Milwaukee, Beauchamp, the only one that's really a pivotal player here. He's a game-time decision. He's more likely to play than not. Ibaka and Portis, that's a big one. Bobby Portis is out. Okay, so Brook Lopez, Giannis might have to step into more minutes. You might see, I don't know, with Portis and Ibaka out, they're pretty thin in the front court. Not quite sure who else they have on that bench that could step in and play some center or power forward minutes for them. They may have to run some Pat Connaughton at power forward. I'm drawing a blank. If you guys know who their like third string center is, what's that one guy that they got? He's a European guy. I can't think of his name. His name's like Machiavelli or something like that. Shout out to Tupac. Anyway, that guy might get some more minutes. I can't think of his name right now. It's definitely not Machiavelli, by the way. He's not Machiavelli. Moving on to the 8 o'clock game. We got Atlanta and OKC. This is another one that's got some potential fireworks here. 238 points, 1.5 point spread. All right. So Trae Young, DeJounte Murray taking on the likes of SGA and Josh Giddey. Two very fun backcourts here. I think Clint Capela is probably in a good spot going against OKC. Wasn't Mike Muscala with the Atlanta Hawks at one point, or am I making that up? Clint Capela versus Muscala, though, looks like a pretty good matchup for Capela on paper. Keep an eye on DeAndre Hunter. He's a game-time decision, as is Okongwu. If Hunter can't go, you'll probably see more minutes for a guy like Bogdan Bogdanovic off the bench. If Okongwu can't go, then you're going to see Frank the Tank, Frank Kaminsky, come off the bench and get some of those minutes behind Clint Capela. Over on the OKC side, Pokashevsky, JRE, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Both of those guys still out, but a very high total game here with a tight spread, 238 points, and just 1.5 point difference between these two teams. Love that. Love that. Now we got a lot of games that are tipping off at 10 o'clock. So those of you on the West Coast, listen, you're going to have basketball all night long. For those of us here on the East Coast, it's going to be a long night, a late night if you could stay up for these games. 4 games tipping off at 10 o'clock or later, starting with Memphis and Golden State. Steven Adams is the big news here. He is out. Adams is out, guys. He got hurt. So Xavier Tillman looks to be the projected starter at center for Memphis tonight. Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, and Ja Morant. Golden State side of things, we got Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond Green. So this is the death lineup for the Golden State Warriors, right? When they start Draymond at center, they go a little smaller with Wiggins, Thompson, Poole, and Curry. I think Curry, again, has a good night tonight. He tends to play very well against Memphis and Ja Morant. James Wiseman, game time decision. Not sure if he's going to play or not. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. Wiseman has yet to really kind of establish himself and catch on with Golden State. Very talented. Maybe he ends up getting traded or something, goes to another team and flourishes. But right now, he's not really a factor, all right? Andre Iguodala is out. Love this game for the one simple fact that it's got 244 implied points between these two teams. And listen, it's just a 3.5 spread. So huge total. Close spread. This one has all the potential for big overs, big totals, big outputs for points, rebounds, assists, whatever you want. You can get it from this game. Another 10 o'clock game, Utah and Portland. Again, Kelly Olynyk is out. Walker Kessler going to be drawing the start here for the Utah Jazz. They're facing Yusuf Nurkic and the Portland Trail Blazers. Justice Winslow is out. Baji is also out for Portland, which not really an impactful injury there. But the total here is 238.5 points with a 3.5 point spread. I think Yusuf Nurkic, if you're going to play him against the Utah Jazz, I like him as a first half only play, although he's starting to kind of like fall off a little bit. We haven't seen quite as good of those first half logs recently out of Yusuf Nurkic. I don't know what's going on with him. Seeing more Eubanks coming off the bench playing for Portland. Jeremy Grant, I think this is a revenge game, right? I think Jeremy Grant, once upon a time, wasn't he with the Utah Jazz, if I'm not mistaken? So maybe he looks to kind of get his versus his former team. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Jeremy Grant was with the Jazz. He's been around the block. He's been on a few different teams, so we'll have to see how that one goes. But yeah, love the total at 238.5 with a 3.5-point spread. Toronto at Sacramento tips off at 10 o'clock here. We got OG Anunoby, who we saw get hurt. He injured his foot, I think it was, against the Boston Celtics over the weekend. Game time decision, but it looks like he's going to be good to go. Banton, also a game time decision. His status still kind of currently up in the air for the Sacramento Kings. You got Metu, game time decision. Like this spot here for maybe some Domantas Sabonis. Keegan Murray's been playing lights out. Maybe De'Aaron Fox, but you know how the Toronto Raptors do, man. They're one of the better defensive teams, especially when it comes to guarding opposing guards. So if Fox doesn't have a big game, maybe it's Kevin Huerter. Harrison Barnes has also been lights out, but I could see him struggling against the length and athleticism of guys like Siakam, Barnes, and Anunoby tonight. So we'll see if Harrison Barnes can kind of keep it going. But another one of those games with the 238.5-point total and a 3.5 spread. San Antonio and LA, LeBron James. Shout out to LeBron. Guys, LeBron went absolutely crazy in the fourth quarter. It was all for naught, though. The Clippers were just too strong. We talked about the Lakers and Clippers yesterday. I mentioned that I just didn't see how the Lakers could possibly contend and hang around with the Clippers. It was just the Clippers are a really bad matchup for the Lakers, especially that Lakers team that was put out on the floor yesterday. I just did not see a path to victory for LA Lakers, that is, and I was right. Tonight, the Lakers are back at it. LeBron, who has now scored 40 or more points against every team in the NBA. I think he's the first person. Did they say he's the first person to do that? Pretty crazy. LeBron's still doing what he does. But Anthony Davis is expected to be back for the Los Angeles Lakers. For how long? It's anybody's guess. Obviously, the glass man is what I call him. Anthony Davis seems to be very injury prone for whatever reason. Lonnie Walker also listed as a game time decision. Not sure if he's going to actually play or not. Austin Reeves is out. Romeo Langford, game time decision. Devin Vassell still out for San Antonio. So it's going to be Birdle, Sochan, Johnson, Langford, and Jones for the San Antonio Spurs. 243.5 points with a 6.5-point spread. Will Anthony Davis have rust tonight? I don't know, but he's got a pretty soft matchup against Birdle and the Spurs. It's just a question of how many minutes he's going to get, right? Can't do much for us if he's out there for like 25 to 30 minutes. We need him to play 30 plus minutes tonight. All right, my friends, that does it. That's all the games that is scheduled tonight for the NBA. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like button, and then start hitting me with your questions as well. As always, super chats prioritize you over everyone else. I'm one man. I only have so much time and I only have so many resources. And I know I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's question. It pains me to say it, but it's true. There's a lot more of you than there is me, but I'm going to do my best to get to as many questions as possible over the next hour or so. So start hitting me with your player prop questions. I know some of you have already dropped a few off. If you have something that's hard hitting, an urgent question, something that you must have an answer to, I do highly recommend you use super chats. And those absolutely go a long way to help supporting the show, the channel, the content that I'm putting out for free here every single day for you on YouTube. So I appreciate those who do leave those super chats. Thank you in advance. All right, let's go split screen. Let's break out some prize picks here. Again, prize picks. If you're not playing on prize picks yet, promo code Curry's still getting you that 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Taking a look here. What are you guys talking about? Let's scroll through some of these comments here. I know some folks had already mentioned a couple of picks and plays and things that they were liking. See if I can find them. It's kind of hard to dig through these all these chats, all these comments in the chat. King United saying Draymond Green, 7.5 rebounds, minus 140 betting favorite to go over. Let's take a look at that one real quick. Of course, Draymond Green, well, it looks like it's been bumped. I don't know if you guys are playing on PrizePicks or not, but PrizePicks has the tendency to move props up, move props down. In other words, they'll take it from 7.5 if it's getting too much juice, too much action on the over or the under in some cases. They'll bump it up, and that's what they've done with Draymond Green in this case, bumping him up from 7.5 rebounds up to 8 rebounds. But Draymond Green has cleared 8 rebounds in 3 out of his last 5 games. And we already mentioned at the top of the show here, Steven Adams is out tonight, which leaves Xavier Tillman Xavier Tillman as the man in the middle for the Memphis Grizzlies. So there's a chance that possibly Draymond Green could take advantage of this matchup. So let's go take a look at Draymond Green and see what he's been up to. We're going to be using props.cash here to do our player prop research. Again, guys, highly recommend props.cash. I can save you 25% off your first month. It's only $20 a month. It's really a great deal. With all the information, especially for NBA, that they pack into their app, really a great deal at just $20 a month. And you'll be paying less than that on your first month using code Curry. So if you want to use props.cash and maybe you've never used it before, I've left a link down in the description below. Get started with props.cash today for just $15 instead of $20 on your first month, okay? All right, Draymond Green's rebounds. We're taking a look here. He is set at 7.5 boards. You could see sort of the first 2/3 of the season had not done so well when it came to rebounding the basketball. But as we look at the last 30 games and look at like the last 15, more importantly, he's hit at least 8 rebounds in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of his last 13 games. He's recorded at least 8 rebounds. Now, we need him to get 9. Being that he's been bumped up to 8, we would want 9. We don't want to play for the tie. We don't want to play for 8 rebounds. We want to play for 9 rebounds. So let's see what his chances are of 9 or more boards. He's actually recorded 9 or more rebounds in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of his last 10, 11, 12, 13 games. All right. So he's 9 for 13 at 9 or more rebounds, which is, again, what you want. You want 9. You don't want the tie. You don't want the push. So looking pretty good here so far. Draymond Green rebounds in the last 10 to 15 games. He's really been boarding very well. We can take a look at how he's done against Memphis. Guys, he played Memphis on Christmas Day. My boy Dre had 13 rebounds against the Grizzlies in that game, and I do believe Steven Adams was active for that one. So I don't hate what I'm seeing so far on Draymond Green. We go back to last season, we take a peek. You can see that he hit the over on his rebounds against the Grizzlies in 3 out of 7 games. So overall, that brings his hit rate 5 out of his last 9 games played against Memphis. So 56% hit rate for Draymond Green against this Memphis Grizzlies team, who again will be without Steven Adams, which makes a big difference because Adams, I think, might be leading the league in rebounds this season. If he's not, he's got to be one of the top rebounders in all the league. But I think he's lead the league in rebounds. So without him in the middle, Dre should have a better day and an easier time. And I like it. I think it looks good. So good for you for shouting that one out. Let's take a look and see where Draymond Green's sitting at today. Projection wise, I've got Draymond Green at 8.6 projected boards. That is more than 8. We're seeing him at 7.5 on a lot of these different sports books. It makes total sense why PrizePicks took him from 7.5 and bumped him up to 8.0. With all the action and juice coming in on the over at 7.5, well, listen, they had to do what they had to do. But yeah, the rebounds looking pretty darn good here for Draymond Green without Steven Adams man in the middle. So I would click more. Hopefully he gets at least 8, but you're really banking on him getting 9. That's what you really want. So looking pretty good. I think that's a good start. Good one. Who pointed that one out? That was King United. Thank you for pointing that one out. I think that looked pretty good. Scrolling through here, let's see what other picks and plays you guys are talking about. Like I said, I'm trying to select as many as I can out of the chat. Again, if you guys have ones that are like really pressing issues, pressing matters, I must have an answer to this question. Definitely think about using Super Chat to get that question highlighted in the chat. Good morning to Britton. Thank you for being here, Britton. Brandon O is asking, what do you think about Conley over points? Van Vliet over PRA. Well, I think you're the second person who's mentioned Michael Conley Jr. for points. Somebody else mentioned him earlier at 10.5 going up against Portland. Conley been playing pretty good ball. I took his fantasy score the other night. He finished with like 28.1. I think his line was set at 28.5. So literally one more stat, he would have went over his fantasy score. It could have been anything. Could have been another point, a steal, a block, a assist, a rebound, anything. I mean, anything. He could have coughed and we would have been over the fantasy score. But that was that game. against Charlotte. So he did clear his points against Charlotte, did not clear his fantasy score against the Hornets. But yeah, 4 out of his last 5. Of course, you know how I like to do. Last 5's not good enough for me. I need to see a larger sample size, and Props.Cash makes that simple for us. So Utah versus Portland, we're going to go to that game, filter out the rest of them, and then you go and find Mike Conley, punch his name in there, and you kind of get a peek at his hit rates, his logs here. 19 to 38, that's a 50% hit rate. That's not good. I like typically hit rates that are a little bit higher than that personally, but recently he's shown good form. He's hit the over in 5 out of his last 6 games. He has gone over 5 out of his last 6, so that's not too bad. 6 out of his last 10, so he's showing a lot better scoring potential here over the last 6 to 10 games, right? Going up against Portland, though, for whatever reason, my guy Conley had 0 points against Portland. How many minutes did he play in that game? Oh, okay. Well, that explains it. He only played 9.1 minutes, so Conley must have gotten hurt or something. Not sure what happened there. Only 9.1 minutes in his previous game against Portland, so that's the reason why he had this big goose egg, this donut in the points category versus Portland. We can go back to last season, though, and take a quick look at those. He played Portland a total of 4 times. 4 times. 2 of those games, both of them happen to be on the road, which is where tonight's game takes place, is in Portland. So 2 road games, he hit 15 points and 14 points. The 2 home games against Portland, he did not hit, only 2 points and 5 points. So it's been feast or famine. Again, these were from last season, guys, so take it with a grain of salt. But feast or famine for Conley. He's had 2 points, 5 points, and 0 points this season in 9 minutes played, and then 15 and 14 in the games that he's hit. So I would say maybe he's a play. We could take a look at the split situation. Conley at home this season, 12.2 points per game. That is a good split situation for him playing at home. He's hit in the last 5 of 6 of his last home games. On the road, though, averages quite a few less points, just 9.1 points per game on the road this season versus 12.2. That's over 3 points difference. That's huge, guys. That's pretty huge. That's a pretty big difference. So for me, I'm a little scared that him playing on the road tonight is not in his favor. That is a little bit worrisome. Let's take a look here at a projection on Conley. Go to the points category and punch his name in here. Got him projected for 11.5. That's a point higher than where he's at 10.5. We take a look at the sports books. The juice is definitely loose on the over here. Minus 130, betting favor to go over on DraftKings. Minus 125 on a site like BetMGM, and minus 120 on PointsBet. No line data pulled here for BetMGM. But anyway, projected for 11.5. He has shown good form lately, hitting in 5 out of his last 6. And the only knock against this is that he has scored 3 points fewer per game on average on the road versus at home this season. So that's a little bit worrisome. But anyway, there's a little bit of information on Michael Conley Jr. for those of you who asked about his points. So yeah, I mean, if you like it, take it. Maybe you flex it. Maybe you don't take too much of it. Not too heavy. Jeff says, I'm about to make 1,400 alternate accounts just to sub and get you to 8,000. Hey, buddy, do what you got to do. I'm going to pretend like I don't know anything and that I didn't see that, but I appreciate that. D'Angelo said that's Walt Disney now, not Benjamin. I don't know what in the world that means. I'm not sure. Oh, the $100 bill's going to have Walt Disney on it for the next 2 years. Is that true? I have not heard that, but then again, I don't use cash a lot. I'm a, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, debit card type of guy. Julius Randle had himself a massive game, as Blake is pointing out. If you played Julius Randle under, well, shoot, he burned us. Going back through the rest of these comments here, getting caught up. We're seeing Junior Vasquez asking about Fultz or Banchero. Why? Why Fultz or Banchero? Why do you want Fultz or Banchero plays? I would just stay away from the Magic, man. Why do you guys want to torture yourselves trying to figure out? I mean, look at the inconsistencies for a guy like Fultz. You're also asking about Banchero. Banchero's pretty good for 20 or more points most nights. But look at the previous 4 games, 19, 18, 11, and 15. Geez, I don't know. What membership do I use on props.cash? You could go monthly if you want. $19.99 a month. At this point in the NBA season, being that we're like, if you're just using it for NBA, being that we're at the halfway mark, so to speak, in the NBA season, might be better for you to do the month-to-month versus the big $200 subscription. I think my discount that I can get you on the first month, it works on the month-to-month only. So you might want to go month-to-month because I don't know if you're going to get like the full bang for your buck. Again, if you're just using it for NBA. They also offer MLB, NFL, CSGO. So there's other sports on there other than NBA. You get all access for like $20 a month. But anyway, Fultz or Banchero plays. I'm just going to stay away from the Magic, and I'm going to advise that you stay away from the Magic too. Franz Wagner's been the man. Banchero's had some great games. We've seen Wendell Carter Jr. have some fantastic success. Markelle Fultz, he's up or down. He's more of a pass-first point guard. Some nights he'll score well. Some nights he's looking to facilitate. So I would just stay away from him, man. Honestly, there's too many good games and too many good props tonight for us to kind of figure out who's going to be the guy for the Orlando Magic. So I would say stay away. That would be what I would recommend. But I will take on that DeJounte Murray PR question. DeJounte Murray points plus rebounds. Let's go find him real quick. DeJounte been really starting to step his game up, especially in the rebound category. Rebounds and assists could be another option for you if you don't want to go points plus rebounds. But you did mention points plus rebounds, Mr. Vasquez. So I would tell you, you'd probably have better success playing some DeJounte Murray than you would trying to figure out which Orlando Magic player is going to show up tonight. Just a quick little recap for you. Atlanta OKC, 238 points. Big total in that game. 1.5 point spread. So let's take a quick peek here at DeJounte Murray's points plus rebounds. So we select the category we want. We select the game we want. You can apply these filters to kind of block out all the rest of the noise. And then you take a look at DeJounte Murray here, and 26 for 43 this season, 60% hit rate, the last 10 games in particular, the last 7 especially. He's really turned it on here. Points and rebounds he's hit in 7 straight games, 26, 35, 32, 37, 35, 29, and 27. So DeJounte Murray has been on a heater lately. He's 17 out of his last 30, 7 out of his last 10. And he's 5 out of his last 5. He's also played OKC already once this season. Had himself 30 points plus rebounds against the Thunder in that game. That game took place in Atlanta. Tonight's game is going to be on the Oklahoma City turf. All right, so he's going to be on the road tonight. So you know how I like to do. I like to look at some splits data, and we can do that real quick. DeJounte Murray at home, 26.5 points plus rebounds. DeJounte Murray on the road, 26.3 points plus rebounds. So we don't see a significant change in his points and rebounds output when he plays at home versus when he plays on the road. Another prop that I mentioned that I want to kind of take a peek at here is his rebounds and assists. Now this one, the points and rebounds, 60% hit rate. Rebounds and assists, all right, not so good, 40%. So stick to the points and rebounds. It's got the better hit rate out of the two. Points and rebounds looking pretty spicy here so far. Moving on from that, though, we could go ahead and take a look at a projection for you on DeJounte Murray, his points plus rebounds. Mr. Murray has kind of overtaken Trae Young lately. He seems to be the primary guard for the Atlanta Hawks. 27.2 points and rebounds projection. That's looking like a healthy projection. We're seeing him at 25.5 on a couple of books, DraftKings and BetMGM. And then we're seeing him at 26.5 on FanDuel and PointsBet. So not a lot of line movement on this prop just yet, but I like what I'm seeing so far. 1-for-1 against OKC. He's hitting his last 7 games. Not really a guy who's impacted by playing on the road versus at home. He's not a major splits guy. So yeah, I think DeJounte Murray's looking pretty good here for points and rebounds. I wouldn't mind taking the over on his prop there. So Let me see what else you guys are talking about. What else you guys got in here? Hit me with your picks, your props. Isaac saying, "What's up, CJ? Long time no see. Love that hat today." Boom. You know how we do. Philadelphia Eagles coming for that Super Bowl, baby. Coming for that Super Bowl. Appreciate that, Isaac. Good to see you as well. Lori, less than 27.5 points. Demos, like in some under on Lauri Markkanen, or taking Lauri Markkanen under 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. All right, you're feeling like Lauri Markkanen doesn't perform well today? He's going up against Portland. Who will draw that assignment? Will it be Josh Hart? I feel like Josh Hart's a little too small for Lauri Markkanen. I think this is more of a Jeremy Grant spot, right? Where Jeremy Grant will probably draw the Lauri Markkanen assignment. I think that would be a good matchup. Stick Jeremy Grant on Lauri Markkanen and let's see what happens. But you're thinking about taking the under on his points or the under on his PRA. Just quick glimpse here at his points. 2 for his last 5. PRA, that's got the higher hit rate. So if you're going to take the under, at least based on his last 5 games, probably the points, right? You'd want to go with the one that's hitting at the lower hit rate over the last 5 games. But let's take a closer look at this using Props.cash. We're going to go over to Utah versus Portland, tap Lauri Markkanen's name, and we'll pull up a recent sample size of his games. Listen, he's at 27.5 here on PrizePicks today. At 27.5, we see a hit rate of just 36%, meaning he's only exceeded 27.5 points in 16 of 45 games this season. That's not great. The first 2/3 of the season, a lot more red. But over the last 10 to 15 games, we have seen Lauri Markkanen really start to pick it up. 6 out of his last 10 he's hit. We go to the 30-game view. Let's count these out real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of his last 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He's hit the over in like 10 out of his last 15 games, which is a pretty good hit rate, right? He has already faced Portland twice this season. In those 2 games, my guy Markkanen struggling, just 23 points and 21 points. 0 for 2 against Portland. I didn't watch those games. I'm not sure how they matched up with him, but if they put Jeremy Grant on him, man, he must have been doing a good job against Lauri Markkanen. 23 points at Portland, 21 points in Utah at home. All right, so he's 0 for 2 against Portland this season at 27.5. The last few games for him have been a little bit more shaky, 21, 25, 28, 34, 22, and 25. He's only hit this in 2 out of his last 5 games, right? 2 out of his last 5, averaging 26.8 points, which is still a good average. But maybe this matchup for Markkanen against Portland is just a tough one for him. Last but not least, we'll just check in on the split situation for him at home, averaging 24.7 points. That's not very good. 8 for 22 at 27.5 playing at home, which means on the road, he's probably balling out a little bit more. 24.8 points on the road. We've seen him hit the over in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of his last 7 games played on the road. He's hit the over. Overall, last 10, though, 6 for 10. 6 out of his last 7, he's hit the over, but he's 6 out of his last 10 overall. So there you go. There's the breakdown on Lauri Markkanen. Struggling against Portland, 0 for 2 against the Trailblazers this season. Last but not least, I'm going to hit you with a projection. We're going to see how projections are looking for Lauri Markkanen's points. Yeah, 25.8 is less than 27.5 for sure, so they project him to go under. And he's a minus 125, minus 122 betting favorite to stay under as well. So Lauri Markkanen under on points. There you go. That could be your move. I don't disagree with that. It looks like he's, for whatever reason, not capable of scoring very well against the Portland Trailblazers in 2 games so far this year. So like the projections, like the fact that the money's coming in on the under. Got a couple of super chats coming in. Appreciate those. Starting with Arnold. Arnold's leaving the super chat here. Appreciate you, Arnold. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Actually, let me back that up. Ryan T sent a super chat. He says, can you check into Ben Simmons' points, rebounds, and assists? Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, Brooklyn's been without Kevin Durant, so Ben Simmons' PRA is in question here. How did we miss this? Yeah, he's going up against his former team tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers. For some reason, that just totally, it just went right by me. Yeah, Ben Simmons versus Philadelphia tonight. All right. 22.5 PRA. He's only hit the over in 1 out of his last 5 games. Guys, do we expect Ben Simmons to be a monster tonight? Do we expect Ben Simmons to show up and show out? He's going to be back in Philadelphia. Can you imagine the boos that are going to be rained down on this young man? I hate to see it. Hate to see it for Ben Simmons. He's going to have some thick skin tonight, though, because those Philadelphia fans, they're no joke, man. They could be mean. It could be a hostile environment here for Ben Simmons. Taking a look at his PRA, he's at 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's 9 for 35, just a 26% hit rate this season. But I've got some good news. If you're thinking about taking the over for Ben Simmons, he did have 29 points, rebounds, and assists back on November 22nd. He did go over this 22.5 number in that game with that 29. So shout out to Ben Simmons. He actually did exceed 22.5 PRA in that game against Philadelphia. So I'm guessing that's why his line's a little bit higher tonight. Maybe they think Ben's going to come out there, play with a big old chip on his shoulder or a boulder on his shoulder, bars. He did kill it, though, against Philadelphia in that previous game with 29 PRA. But 19 for 35, that's not good. I mean, there's a lot of red up here, right? A lot of red for Ben Simmons. Let's take a look at how he performs at home. 21.5 PRA on the road, 20.1 PRA. So he's averaging less PRA than 22.5, whether he's playing at home or away. So not really a significant difference in the splits there. 21.5 versus 20.1, about a 1.4 PRA difference, home versus road. But yeah, maybe Ben Simmons steps it up again tonight, going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. If you don't like the PRA, maybe there's a different prop that's hitting at a higher rate. Let's just run through these Ben Simmons props real quick. PRA 26% for the season. Points 37%, slightly higher hit rate on the points. Rebounds, he's collected at least 7 boards in 49% of his games, including 7 against Philadelphia. How many points did he have against Philly? 11. So he had 11 points, 7 rebounds. Assists, he had 11 assists against the 76ers. He's recorded at least 7 assists in 51% of his games. So that could be another option for you if you're not feeling the PRA for whatever reason. Assists at 7 or more. Done a really good job here lately, too. Hitting 7 or more in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his last 7 games. So you could go with his assists, potentially, possibly. What else we got for Ben Simmons? Points and rebounds. Points and rebounds, just 34%. Points and assists, 31%. Rebounds and assists, that's probably a pretty decent look. I mean, we don't even ask him to score a point. Just get the rebounds and assists for us. 34% on the rebounds and assists. All right. So he covered pretty much everything against Philadelphia. Let's go look at that again. He covered his points. He covered his rebound. No, he didn't cover his rebounds. His rebounds, he pushed, actually. He pushed with 7 boards. All right. He covered his assists with 11 dimes dropped. He covered his PRA at 22.5. He covered it with 29. Points and rebounds, he covered that with 18. Good for him. Points and assists, definitely covered that with 22. Rebounds and assists, covered those as well. So he had himself a great game against Philadelphia the last time he played them in Philadelphia, which is, again, the situation tonight. He's playing in Philadelphia. So taking a look here at Ben Simmons, getting you a projection on this pick prop play. His points are set at 8.5. He's projected for 8.8, betting favorite under 8.5 points, but a betting favorite over 7.5 points. Pretty good juice on those. The rebounds, 7.3 is his projection there at 7.5 boards. Betting favorite to go under, minus 140, minus 130 odds. So that's why they've bumped him down to 7. Taking a look at Ben Simmons and his assists, those are sitting at 7.1. Again, at 7.5 dimes, he is a big betting favorite, minus 150, minus 146, and minus 140 to stay under 7.5 assists, despite him having 11 assists against Philadelphia. For whatever reason, they think you should be taking the under on Ben Simmons' assists. His PRA is projected for 23.2. It's more than 22.5, which is where he's set at today. Seeing some juice on the under on DraftKings, juice on the over on FanDuel. So sports bettors out there, not quite sure what to make of Ben Simmons. Then you got the points and rebounds for Ben, 16.1 projection. He's at 15.5 on PrizePicks, but being bet under at 15.5. Not a lot of faith in Ben Simmons. Do you guys agree with that? Should we not have a lot of faith in Ben Simmons despite his pretty decent game against the Sixers the last time that he played them? Let me know in the chat. We loving Simmons tonight? We liking Simmons tonight? Or are we hating and fading Ben Simmons tonight? His points and assist projections at 16. He's at 15.5 today on PrizePicks. A slight betting favorite to go under at 15.5 points plus assists. Rebounds and assists, 14.4. It's a pretty tight number compared to the 14.5 line. Again, a slight betting favorite. He's pretty much being bet under on damn near everything today. About the only one that I've seen have any traction on the over is the points, rebounds, and assists on FanDuel, where he's a minus 122 betting favorite. So not a lot of faith in Ben Simmons, guys. That's why I'm asking you, what do you think? Does Ben Simmons repeat what he did against Philadelphia in their previous matchup back in November when he played in front of those hostile Philadelphia fans? Or are we expecting Ben Simmons to just fall flat on his face? You guys let me know what you're thinking. Country Boy saying that the main Philadelphia 76ers players did not play in that game. So maybe that's why we should downgrade Ben Simmons tonight. That makes some sense. What about if Joel Embiid is out? Because he is a game time decision. Does that make you feel more warm, more fuzzy toward Ben Simmons? Let me know. Joel Embiid out. Do you feel better about some Ben Simmons overs in that situation? Let me know. All right, got a couple of other super chats to come in here. Ryan T, hopefully that helps you out, my friend. Arnold coming through with a super chat. He's got Kyle Kuzma's rebounds or possibly the rebounds and assists. Kyle Kuzma had himself a pretty good game last night. I'm always interested in a prop for Kuzma that includes his points because when Kristaps Porzingis is out, right? Bradley Beal's still kind of on a minutes limit. I think Beal played about 30 minutes last night, if memory serves me well, but you do have Kendrick Nunn kind of coming into the fold tonight. I don't think that impacts Kuzma's minutes all that much. Obviously, Rui Hachimura no longer in the mix, so that's your situation with the Washington Wizards. But for me, for my money, anything that includes Kuzma scoring, I'm usually in on that, but you kind of want to leave his points out of it, seems like, Arnold, and you want to go rebounds or just go rebounds and assists. So let's look at both. We got rebounds, which are set at 8.0. Rebounds and assists are set at 12.5. All right, 8.0, 12.5. So let's start with the boards first. How many times recently has he hit 8 or more rebounds? Well, 3 out of 5, okay? We talked about Kristaps Porzingis being out tonight, so let's go to that game real quick and dig into that. Washington versus Houston. Going to the rebounds, and we're looking at Kyle Kuzma's rebounds here. We know the Houston Rockets, not the greatest team when it comes to defensive metrics. Now, they do have the big man in the middle, Alperen Şengün, which could potentially create a problem here for Kyle Kuzma and his ability to rack up boards. But let's just look at the data. Who cares what I think? Let's look at the data here. And that's all I'm about. Trust the data, right? At 7.5 rebounds, I've set him at 7.5 because I want to see the games. How many times he's had at least eight rebounds or more. And he's done this in 21 of 46 games this season, 8 or more rebounds. That's a 46% hit rate. Now, more importantly, how does he perform when Kristaps Porzingis is out? We can answer that question again by using this games without feature, which is a part of your membership when you sign up on props.cash. So taking Kristaps Porzingis out of the equation, looking at just games from this season, right? He's only hit 8 or more rebounds without Porzingis in 1 out of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. 1 for 6 this season. He had 11 boards against Dallas. He just played Dallas last night without KP6. Only 5 boards in that game. So he's only hit 8 or more rebounds once out of 6 games. That's not good. I don't know what the hit rates are on that. 20-something percent. But yeah, that's not good. Right? Hasn't shown an ability to rebound this season all that great without Kristaps Porzingis. So I wanted to mention that. Wanted to show you guys that. Obviously, he's on a back-to-back. Maybe he's a little tired from last night's performance against Dallas. He played how many minutes against Dallas? Almost 37 minutes last night against Dallas. So what about the other one? You asked about rebounds. You also asked about rebounds plus his assists. Let's look at those. His rebounds and assists this season without Porzingis is also 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 for 6 on his rebounds and assists. So hasn't done a great job in the rebounds or rebounds and assists category this season at the numbers that he's set at today, which are 8 boards or 12.5 rebounds and assists. So 1 for 6 on both of those, or 1 for 6 on both. Well, what about some of these other Kyle Kuzma, ways you can play Kyle Kuzma? We talked about his points. For me, he does typically score well without Porzingis, so he's hit the points in 1, 2, 3 out of 6 games. We saw him hang 30 points up on the Dallas Mavericks last night. So at least he's at 50% hit rate compared to the lower hit rates for the rebounds and assists. You could also consider maybe like points and assists. Let's look at those real quick. Points and assists, he's also 3 for 6 this season. Points and rebounds, 3 for 6. So not great hit rates on any of these numbers or lines for Kuzma today. He might just be too high. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Are the lines for Kyle Kuzma just a little too high today after what he did last night? Possibly. His PRA, he's just 2 for 6 on that. So, yeah, I get it. It's Houston. I get that it's the Houston Rockets. I get that the total's, pretty high on this game. Let me look at the total again here. But it seems like we're definitely paying a premium here for Kyle Kuzma on a back-to-back. Yeah, the total's 232.5 with a 3-point spread. So, I mean, you've seen the hit rates. I've kind of shown you what Kuzma has done. Has he played Houston at all this season? Let's put Kristaps Porzingis back in the mix here. Let's look and see. No games against Houston. Going back to last season, he played Houston, had how many rebounds? 9 boards against Houston last season. Again, that was last season. Rebounds and assists, he had 11, so he fell short on the rebounds and assist number. What about the points? No, missed his points. Rebounds were at 9. So I don't know. Maybe if you're feeling rebounds or rebounds and assists, maybe you just go rebounds. But last season was last season, so I wouldn't get too hung up, too excited in that 1 game sample size from last season for him. But taking a look at some of these splits scenarios here for Kyle Kuzma. Of course, he's going to be on the road again tonight as they travel to Houston after playing Dallas last night. So you asked about the rebounds on Kuzma. 7.5 boards. He's hit 8 or more in 46%. What about when he's at home? 8.1 boards versus on the road, 7.1. So he does not rebound quite as well on the road, averaging 1 rebound less playing on the road versus when he plays at home. So he's in a bad split spot. He's 8 for 24 at least 8 boards this season. That's a 33% hit rate. We know he doesn't have a very good hit rate without Porzingis. 1 for his last 6 this season. Hasn't done it since an earlier matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm not feeling too great about anything Kuzma related at the moment. Now on 0 days rest, he's hit 4 out of 7 with at least 8 or more boards. Actually 9 or more boards in those games. So back-to-backs doesn't seem to really bother him all that much. What about back-to-backs on the road? He is 2 for 3 on back-to-backs played on the road. So there's some information on Kuzma for you. Again, doesn't look sexy to me. Just the hit rates in general being pretty low. Hit rates without Porzingis also pretty low. Hit rates on the road low. Rebounds per game average pretty low. So you kind of get the gist of the situation with Kuzma. But let's take a look at his projections here for his rebounds. He is projected for a healthy 9.3 boards, but at 8.5 rebounds. Gang, they're betting the under pretty heavily here on your sports books. Minus 145, minus 150 on a couple of these big books, which is why PrizePicks has bumped him down to 8. So he's projected for 9.3. He's at 8. But he's a big betting favorite to stay under 9 rebounds tonight. So you might end up in a tie or a push if you take Kuzma over boards, all right? And then the other one you wanted to look at was his rebounds and assists. Let's look at those. 12.5. He's projected for 13.8. But at 12.5, we're seeing some juice on the under as well. So minus 125, minus 118. So not a lot of faith in Kyle Kuzma tonight to clear this rebound number of 9 or more, or to clear this rebounds and assists number of 13 or more. So at this moment, you would be trusting the projections over the historical data, over the sports betting lines and the way that the odds are going. You'd be trusting the projections over all those things. So you got to ask yourself, you going to ride with these projections, or are you going to ride with the historical data and the way that the juice is moving on these sports books? So, all right, Arnold, hopefully that helps you out, though. I think that was pretty insightful. Thank you for the question. Thank you for leaving that super chat as well. Adele Gallardo coming through with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Adele. Appreciate you. He's liking some Siakam turnovers over. So let's build out this little entry real quick for our guy. He's liking Siakam for more than 2.5 turnovers. Okay. He's liking Poole for more than his PRA. Jordan Poole, that is. Pool party. He thinks it's going to be a pool party tonight against Memphis. He's liking Kevin Huerter for more than his PRA total. Kevin Huerter, a.k.a. Red Velvet. If you know, you know. He's liking him for more than his PRA. He's liking Van Vliet for more than his assist line. So let's go find Fred Van Vliet. His assists are sitting at 6.5 today. And I think that's it. That's his shopping list today. He's got Siakam over turnovers. He's got Poole over PRA, Huerter over PRA, and Van Vliet over 6.5 assists. He says, good to see you back on the grind. Thank you. Hey, salute to you. And thank you as well, my friend. All right, let's take a look at some of these props that he's mentioned here. We're going to start things off with Pascal Siakam and his 2.5 turnovers. Not one that I've looked at a whole lot, but hey, that's why I do what I do with you guys, because it uncovers some potentially good plays that, one guy, one head, one brain. I've only got, so much that I can look at. So when you guys come in here to the chat, and you guys put other people on some of these picks and props and plays, maybe ones we haven't quite, paid enough attention to, it could be a good thing. Like my guy, Everyday Fantasy, he's always coming through with a very off the wall, off the radar type of play, and a lot of the times they hit. All right, so Siakam, 2.5 turnovers. He's 20 for 38 this season, 53% hit rate, meaning he's hitting or going over 2.5 turnovers more often than not. And when we really isolate to a smaller sample size here, last 10 games, he's turned the ball over in 8 of his last 10 games at 3 or more turnovers. So that's an 80% hit rate here. So we're liking 80% hit rates. We back it up a little bit further. He's hit the over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of his last 12 games, he's exceeded 2.5 turnovers. The only knock against this is the fact that he's played Sacramento once already this season, only turned it over one time in that game. This was from December 14th, though. It's a little while back, a little over a month ago. But only one turnover against Sacramento in that game. We go back and look at a couple of games from last season against Sacramento. 4 turnovers at Sacramento. 1 in Toronto and 1 this season in Toronto. So he's 1 for his last 3 in games played against the Kings. Just a little bit more information on top of that. So is he turning the ball over more or less when he plays at home or on the road? That's another question that, can be answered using props.cash here on the home splits. When he plays at home in Toronto, 2.5 turnovers per game, but the last 10 games playing at home, 3.2. All right. He's hit the over in 3, 6, 7 out of his last 8 games played at home. But tonight he's going to be on the road. So let's look at those splits. Whew. Well, he's actually averaging more turnovers per game when he plays on the road this season. 2.9 versus the 2.5 we saw him at in his home games. He's averaging 2.8 turnovers in his last 10 and 3.4 turnovers in his last 5 games. So 10 for 16 on the road this season, 63% hit rate. And I guess, he's just turning it over a little bit more when he's playing in front of the away crowd, which he will be in Sacramento tonight. So there you go. Catching him in a pretty good spot here. Are the Kings forcing turnovers against I don't know what you would call Siakam, center, power forward. We'll look at both. Last 7 games, Sacramento versus power forwards and centers. We're looking at centers first. Forcing about 2.3 turnovers per game to centers, which kind of puts them down toward the bottom of the list. Not forcing a lot of turnovers to centers, but power forwards, let's look at those as well. 2.5 turnovers per game to power forwards, which puts them kind of close to the top of the list here. Memphis forcing the most turnovers to power forwards in the last 7 games, so maybe you take some Draymond Green over turnovers tonight if he's available. But yeah, Sacramento 2.55 turnovers per game to power forwards in their last 7 games. So that's kind of a DVB situation for you. Let me see if I have a projection for some turnovers. I don't. No turnover information here on Siakam, but I think we've got enough information where we can kind of roll the dice and hope that Siakam turns it over at least 3 times on the road tonight. All right. The other ones that you mentioned here, Jordan Poole's PRA at 28.5. We talked about Mr. Poole Party, Jordan Poole. The Golden State Warriors look like they're probably going to be rolling out their death lineup once again tonight, which consists of Draymond Green at center. Then you've got Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Steph Curry. So we're looking for Poole. There he is. Poole, 28.5 PRAs, hit this in 3 out of his last 5 games. Of course, Poole's going to have some game logs in there where he absolutely explodes, which is, you know, what happens whenever the Golden State Warriors sit their vets, and Poole's kind of leading the way with a bunch of the bench guys. So hard to get a good read on Poole. I prefer Poole coming off of the bench than I do him in the starting lineup, sharing the court with the rest of these guys. But take a look at Poole here at PRA, 28.5. He's averaging 28.3 for the season. That's a 53% hit rate, 25 out of his last 47. Started the season off kind of slow here. Did not come out of the gates hot, so to speak, but the last 30 games or so, I mean, he's really cranked it up. 21 out of his last 30 games, he's hit the over at 28.5. That's a 70% hit rate in a 30-game sample size. So that's really good. If we count these out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of his last 19, he's hit the over at 28.5 PRA. So that's looking pretty darn good for Mr. Jordan Poole. He's played the Memphis Grizzlies once already. That was on December 25th, Christmas Day, 37 PRA. Just taking a look at some of the games against the Memphis Grizzlies from last season. 3 for 9 against Memphis last season. Overall, 4 for 10 if you include this season's 37 PRA performance. All right. So Poole's really picked it up. Definitely picked it up over the last 10 and even the last 30 games. I mean, he's just playing some fantastic basketball here. On 2 days rest, funny enough, 2 days rest when he's well rested and feeling good about himself. 6 for 10 this season, including hitting in the last 5 games in which he's had at least 2 days of rest. So that's looking pretty good as well. 5 of his last 5, averaging 35.2 points, rebounds, and assists in that span. So 1 for 1 against Memphis, 70% hit rate in his last 30 games. I mean, what else can we say here? Jordan Poole's looking like a pretty decent play. We could also take a look before we go on his home and road splits. He's going to be at home today. At home, averaging 28.4 PRA. He's hit this in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of his last 9 games playing in front of the Golden State Warriors fans. So Jordan Poole could be in for a good night tonight. He's averaging 28.1 PRA on the road. So not really a significant change when he plays at home versus when he plays on the road. So Poole's looking pretty good here. I think you're onto something with Poole. I was thinking Curry, but man, you might have flipped and convinced me to take Jordan Poole instead. He is projected for 31 PRA. Guys, he is at 28.5 on both MGM and DraftKings. Minus 125 betting favorite to go over on both of those books. On FanDuel, he is at 29.5, but we're seeing some odds, some juice on the under at 29.5. So he's projected to go over 28.5. He's a betting favorite to go over 28.5. He's got really good hit rates here over the last 30 games, 15 games, 10 games, and seems to do a pretty good job playing at home. as well. So I think you're onto something there. I think Poole's probably a pick that I like more than Pascal Siakam's turnovers at 2.5 for me. All right. I'm liking Poole and then Siakam so far. But the last pick you also mentioned was Kevin Huerter, Mr. Red Velvet himself. 20.5 PRA. Let's get into that real quick. And then we'll wrap up the super chat for you. Again, appreciate all the support via super chat. Goes a great way, a great long way, these super chats. I think Huerter, if you just look at how Toronto sort of might match up with the Sacramento Kings, let's take a peek at that real quick. Toronto, Sacramento, 238.5 points between the two teams, 3.5 point spread. Let's see how things might shake out here. You put Fred VanVleet on Fox, maybe. Gary Trent, good 3-and-D type of shooting guard on Huerter. Anunoby on Barnes. Scotty Barnes on Keegan Murray, and then Siakam and Sabonis. I mean, they match up pretty well here. Somebody's going to have to score, right? For Sacramento, Barnes has been really hot, but maybe Anunoby and or Scotty Barnes kind of give him some problems tonight. We'll have to see. But yeah, I could kind of see a path to success for Kevin Huerter tonight going up against this Toronto Raptors squad. He might have the easier matchup against Gary Trent than some of these other guys. Maybe Fox against VanVleet. But if they blitz De'Aaron Fox and force him to pass out, then Kevin Huerter's going to have to knock down some shots, and he could potentially have himself a nice little game. But Huerter, this season, 25 for 43, 58% hit rate. He's averaging 21.8 PRA per game this season, 22.4 in his last 10 games. So he's really picked it up here over the last 10 to 15 games. We can show you that by using props.cash. 17 for his last 30. That's a 57% hit rate. The last 10 games, though, 8 for 10, 80% hit rate. Red Velvet. He's been on one, man. He's been balling out. 8 for his last 10, 80% hit rate. So that's looking pretty darn good here. No previous games this season against the Toronto Raptors. If we take a look at last season, though, I think a lot of these games were when he was with the Hawks. The last two look like they were post-trade deadline. 21, 27. Did he get traded or signed? No, he got signed to Sacramento. I don't think he got traded to Sacramento, right? I think he was signed in the offseason. Well, anyway, nonetheless, whatever the case may be, against Toronto, he seemed to have some pretty good games. 3 out of the last 4. I don't know if those are probably all with Atlanta. I'm trying to think. I think he got signed. Was Huerter signed or traded to Sacramento? Let me know. I can't remember how he got to Sacramento. Was that a sign situation as a free agent, or was he traded? Who was he traded for? I can't remember. Traded. Okay, so he was traded. Do you remember who was in that trade? I'm just trying to remember. Anyway, all right, so if you're right, Ricky, then these games, the 21 PRA and the 27 PRA, based on the dates there, 226 and 405. So February 26th and April 5th, those would have been games with Sacramento. 3-team trade. Okay. It's all coming back to me. It's all coming back. Yeah, I forgot all about that. I couldn't even remember how he got to Sacramento, but a 3-team trade sounds about right. Yeah, I can't remember either, man. Was that a part of the No. I was thinking like DeJounte Murray or Derek White trade or something. I don't know. I can't. Huerter played last season for sure. Anyway, I don't know, guys. Whatever. We'll figure that out at some other point. But yeah, Huerter's definitely been playing very good basketball lately. So let's get you some splits information here at home. 22.6 PRA. He's hit this in his last 6 out of 7 games played at home. Had a very bad game against Memphis. Maybe tonight he bounces back against this Toronto Raptors squad. But yeah, 6 out of his last 7 games at home, he's gone over, averaging 22.6. And then on the road, he averages 20.8. So you're catching him at the right time, playing in front of the Sacramento Kings fans. He does average more PRA, over 2 PRA higher at home this season. So let's cap this off for you. Get you a projection here on Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter projected for 20.9 PRA. He's a betting favorite at 20.5 on DraftKings. 21.5 is his line on FanDuel, but we're seeing some action on the under here. They don't think he's going to go for 22 PRA. But he still could go for 21, and if you take the over at 20.5, then that would be an over. So let's rank these plays. For me, I would probably say Jordan Poole would be number 1. Kevin Huerter, probably number 2, and then I guess Pascal Siakam. The turnovers are kind of unpredictable. I'd probably put those at number 3. Poole, Huerter, Siakam. You guys agree with that ranking? How would you rank these 3 picks? Poole, Huerter, Siakam for me. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we missed one. Van Vliet's assist. Shoot. Let's go back. We ain't done with you yet. We got Van Vliet's assist to look at. You mentioned that one too. So let's poke it at Van Vliet's assist at 6.5 real quick. All right. Fred VanVleet, 6.5 dimes. He's going up against Sacramento. We're already on that game, so that makes things a little bit easier. Van Vliet's been dropping some heavy dimes lately. Let's look at the last 10 games for Van Vliet. At 6.5 assists, 8 for his last 10, 80% hit rate in that 10-game span, averaging 7.4 assists per game. He's only missed this against Atlanta and against New York, 2 games that were played at home. So, wow. Okay, Fred VanVleet, I see you. You're dropping a lot of dimes. Let's go to the last 30 games and look at this real quick. He's hit this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of his last 12 games, covering 6.5 assists. 6.5 assists. So that's looking pretty good. Does he average more assists on the road? Well, 6.1 assists on the road. That's under 6.5. He's hit this in his last 3 games, though, on the road. 8, 7, and 10 against New York, Milwaukee, and Minnesota, respectively. And then at home, 6.5 assists, hitting the over in his last 7 out of 9 games. So, slightly more assists, I would say, at home, but not a significant difference in his assist rate or the assist per game average at home versus away. So I think we're okay here playing him on the road. Getting you a projection on Mr. Fred VanVleet. We got him at 6.7 projected assists, slightly more than the 6.5 we're getting him at on PrizePicks. And then at 6.5 on your favorite sports books, we're talking minus 125 to go under, minus 132 to go under. So if you like the over on Fred VanVleet at 6.5 assists and you have access to a sports book, that would probably be a fine way to go, is to play this on a sports book. But mathematically speaking, this would not be a good overplay on PrizePicks or a site like Underdog, because the odds are basically going against you and not in your favor. So, be careful with that. He has been hitting at a high hit rate. If you can get it on a sports book, play it there. You know, if you take this on like FanDuel, for instance, at plus 104, well, then you would make a lot of money if Fred VanVleet happens to have at least 7 assists tonight. But on PrizePicks, I don't think it makes sense to play it. So I'd fade that one. So I'd put that one probably below the Siakam turnovers. That would be Fred VanVleet's assists would probably be last for me, just because, again, mathematically speaking, it is not a plus EV play. It is a minus EV play for you on a PrizePicks. Kiara is saying that I missed the super chat. No, I didn't. I'm taking them in the order that I have received them. When did you leave a super chat? Where'd it go? I don't even see a super chat, Kiara, from you. When was that? Was that today? Or did you leave one on like some other day? I don't see anything from Kiara here. Basic chat. Oh, she was spamming. Oh, okay. It wasn't super chat. Okay. What's the opposite of a super chat? Just a pooper chat? Was that a pooper chat that I missed then from Kiara? Sorry, Kiara. Sorry that I missed you. Yeah, I got to take the super chats before the pooper chats. I'm just kidding, by the way. You guys, your chats are not poop. We do have a couple others, though, to get to. Rocket Sauce left a super chat. Rocket Sauce with the $10 super chat. My brother, thank you, Rocket Sauce. I appreciate that. He says, hey, CJ, looks like our old pal Clint Capela should be in play tonight versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you like him? And if so, I imagine the first half is your preference. Thank you, and go Eagles. Hell yeah, go Eagles. All right, Clint Capela. I mentioned him earlier whenever we were doing the team-by-team breakdown here of each and every game. And yeah, Clint Capela, especially if Okongwu is out and Hunter is out, if both of these guys are out, then I think Clint Capela should definitely be considered one of the creme de la creme, so to speak. I think he's a really good first half play. Obviously, he's at 17.5 first half fantasy score. Caesar says, I missed your super chat last year. Caesar, send me a bill, brother. I will send back your $1.99 or whatever I owe you, man. All right. Shoot me your Cash App or Venmo. I don't like to miss super chats. Sometimes human error, I do miss them. If I really did, I'm going to take your word for it. Send me your freaking Venmo or Cash App, and I'll refund you your super chat. My God, man, we're going back to last year. Okay, sorry I missed it. Anyway, Clint Capela, last two games, 18.8 first half fantasy score. He came back with 23 against Chicago. Back to back, he's hit this fantasy score. He's starting to see a minutes increase as well. The coach, Mr. Nate McMillan, said that he wants to start getting Capela more and more minutes here, and I think we're starting to see that. So let's take a look at Capela, the big fella, who's man in the middle for the Atlanta Hawks. I want to look at the PRA first, because some of these guys, PRA hits a little bit better than fantasy score. But for me, yeah, it's probably going to be one of those two categories, right? PRA or fantasy score, because we know Capela can get a couple buckets. We know he's going to probably excel in the rebound department. But for me, fantasy score usually is the best way to go for Capela, because he's got the shot blocking potential, typically. But I want to look at both, and I want to also look at his minutes and see if they've gone up in the first half over the last couple of games. And so Props.Cash is an easy way for us to do that. Let me go and click Clint Capela. We can go first half only. Love this new first half only feature that they've added. And then we can look at the last, let's just go last 5. Yeah, 5 games will be good. Last 5 games, right? So these are first half minutes Capela has played in his last 5 games. 10.8 against Miami, 13 against Dallas, 13.1 against New York, 12.5 against Charlotte, and then in this last game, which was against the Chicago Bulls, I believe Okongwu was out for that game. Clint Capela ended up playing 18 first half minutes. So that's why I say I especially like Clint Capela first half if Okongwu is ruled out. I think Capela will find himself running around out there just a little bit more than he would otherwise, because behind Clint Capela, it gets pretty ugly pretty quick. They've got Frank Kaminsky as their backup center option if Okongwu cannot play tonight. So if Okongwu is out, then I like Clint Capela first half fantasy or first half PRA a little bit more. So he's actually hit the fantasy in 2 straight games, but he's 2 out of his last 5. He's hit the PRA he hit the PRA in his last game against Chicago, but he's 2 for his last 5 overall as well. So that's kind of what you can expect for Capela. His minutes are starting to climb, starting to creep up a little bit, and I think he would get even more run if, and only if, Okongwu and or Hunter are both out. So there you go. One other thing that I wanted to take a look at here was StatMuse. We're going to go Clint Capela first half FanDuel points logs this season. I just want to get a bigger sample size at 17.5. How many times he's actually cleared this? 1, 2 in a row. 23.6, 19.8, 18, 26, 18.4, 20.7, 31.1. All right, so he's got some games in there where he's absolutely cleared it. Let's go versus the Thunder. Let's see if he's played OKC this season. He has. He played them on December 5th. December 5th, so that's a pretty recent game. Played 15 first half minutes, had 18 first half fantasy points. Ended up playing 15 minutes, recording 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. And despite having 2 turnovers, he still was able to go past his 17.5 line. So I think Clint Capela tonight's probably in a pretty good spot. Now let's remove the words this season. I just want to see how he's done against the Oklahoma City Thunder here in recent games. 17-5, he's hit the over in his last game. And then we're going back a little further here. He had 18-1, just 16-4, 15-1, and 22. So his last 5 meetings against OKC, he's gone over in 3 out of 5. That's not terrible. We go back to some of these other games here. This was when he was with Houston. He was playing the Thunder a lot more often, playing in the Western Conference. 17-6, 24, 29-1, 29-3, 24-5. But now we're getting, back into ancient times here. But since joining Atlanta, he has gone over against the Thunder in 1, 2, 3 games. 3 out of his 5 games as a Hawk against the Thunder, he has gone over. So I think he's in play tonight. And especially if he's going to get around 18 minutes in the first half like he did against the Chicago Bulls. I like that. Center position. Taking a look at the Oklahoma City Thunder last 7 games, they've given up over 54.72. 54.72 fantasy points per game in their last 7 games to opposing centers. So how can we kind of get a read on what they might allow in the first half? Well, I'm just going to do something real basic here. 54.72 fantasy points. I want to divide that number by 2. Got him I got OKC giving up about 27.36 fantasy score per half. Okay. So they're giving up about 27.36 fantasy score per half. Capela would need about 17.6 fantasy score in the first half. So it's not an exact science. It's about as close as we can come, though, to figuring out if OKC's given up a lot of fantasy points per half to centers or not. In their last 7 games, they're giving up over 27 per half, roughly, give or take. All right. And then last but not least, I'm going to get you a projection on Clint Capela, kind of similar to what I was just saying. This is not going to be an exact science. He's projected for 31 fantasy points. So if we take that 31.02 and we split it in half, that would be about 15.51 fantasy points per half. 15.51, that's less than 17.5, which is not good. But what we can do here is we could go Clint Capela first half FanDuel points per game at home this season. I don't know, wait. Points per game this season. Let's go that route. Points per game average. Let me see. Okay, so 16.96 first half FanDuel points. 16.96 first half FanDuel points in 32 games played. That's less than 17.5 once again. He's playing about 14 first half minutes this season. And then we also look at the second half. I like to see if he's more of a first half or second half player. First half, 16.96. Second half, 14.64. So he's definitely more of a first half player. Definitely more of a first half player. 14.6 in the second half. 16.9 in the first half, playing 13.9 minutes in the first half and 12.6 minutes in the second half. So some of these guys play more minutes in the first half than they do in the second half. Some of these guys average, therefore, more fantasy points in the first half than they do in the second half. So in this case, Clint Capela is absolutely, based on what we're seeing from this season's 32 games, he's absolutely more of a first half player and performer. More minutes and more fantasy points per game on average. So I would say take the over on Clint Capela at 17.5. I like it as it stands. I would love it if mainly Okongwu was out, but if he and Hunter are both out, then I think I like it even more. So there you go, Rocket Sauce. Hopefully that helps you out, my friend. A1 Resin Designs, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, get subscribed. I'm giving away risk-free 2-pick power plays every single day. Those 2-pick power plays, if you go 2 for 2 on them, you win $100. So today's winner, in case you guys are just getting here, maybe you've missed it, was Chris Day. Chris Day, you won our risk-free 2-pick power play giveaway. So shoot me a DM. You got to shoot me a DM either on Twitter at Curry the Creator, or shoot me a DM over in our Discord. There's a link for both down in the description of today's video, Mr. Day. But yes, Chris Day subscribed, he liked, he left a comment on yesterday's video, and now he's going to get a shot at winning $100 on PrizePicks. So that's the way it goes, baby. That's how you win, all right? I want to put risk-free 2-pick power plays. I want to put $100 bills in everybody's pockets. So, all right, we got another super chat or two coming through. We got Adele Gallardo sending another one in. He's asking about some Jalen Williams. So you got J Will and J Dub. There's two Jalen Williams on the Oklahoma City Thunder, but he's asking about the one that plays a little bit better, which is Jalen Williams. And I don't remember if he's J Will or J Dub. Anyway, Jalen Williams blocks and steals. I think he missed that the other night, but maybe you're looking to go back to it. D'Angelo Russell's points and De'Aaron Fox points. All right, a couple of interesting plays in there. Let's look at... Let's go. Jalen Williams blocks and steals sitting at 1.5 today. You're looking to take the over on that. You've also asked us about D'Angelo Russell. Okay, D-Lo got ice in his veins. 18.5 points. You're looking to take the over on that. And then De'Aaron Fox on his points going up against the Toronto Raptors and Fred VanVleet. 23.5 does seem pretty low for Fox, but we got to show some respect. We got to put some respect on the names of the Toronto Raptors as a defensive unit. Anyway, Jalen Williams here. He hit the stocks in the last game, which was against Denver. It was the game prior to that against Sacramento. That's the one that he missed. I knew he had missed one recently. So let's start with this one. OKC in Atlanta. That one is a fun little game on paper, big total, tight spread. So that's the kind of stuff that we like to target games. Those are the types of games we like to target. There we go. Got it out finally. Jalen Williams sitting at 1.5. He has, this can't be right. Steals and blocks. This can't be right. What? No. Oh, that's first half. No wonder. There we go. All right. There we go. We're on track now. 20 out of 43. 47% hit rate. But you can see what he's been doing here over the last 10 to 15 games. Things have really picked up for him. He's hit the over on this prop in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of 14. He's hit the over in 12 out of his last 14 games. My, oh my. He has played Atlanta once already this season, only had one stock, steal, or block in that game. In that game, played over 31 minutes, so he just did not find the basketball. But we'll call him sticky fingers, all right? We'll call Jalen Williams sticky fingers because he has absolutely been swiping and swatting that basketball recently. So 12 out of his last 14, can't really argue with those numbers. Looking really strong here. Last 10 games, 9 out of his last 10. 90% hit rate, averaging 2.8 blocks and steals. My, oh my dude. Getting it done. When he gets some rest, 2 days of rest, he's done a pretty good job here. 4 out of his last 6, averaging 2.3 steals and blocks, 67% hit rate. So that's looking mighty fine as well. So good for you, Jalen Williams. You've been killing it lately. Let's see if I got a projection for you on this. Steals and blocks. Jalen Williams. Got him projected for 1.8. That's more than 1.5. Guys, we're seeing him on BetMGM at a minus 125 betting favorite to go over. So we got a healthy projection. Very healthy hit rates, 12 out of his last 14. Yes, he is 0 for 1 versus Atlanta this season. Did not find 2. He did find 1, but did not find 2 steals and blocks against the Hawks in that game. But maybe he turns it around tonight. So that one's looking pretty darn good. I like that one. Good start to your second super chat here. Let's talk about D'Angelo Russell's points. I want to say that Russell's been doing a lot better, picking up the scoring pace here in the last 5 games. He's been doing really well. 21, 13 against Denver, fell short there. 25, 23, and 30. Now, he's had some pretty easy matchups. I'd call Utah kind of a soft matchup. Obviously, the back-to-back games against Houston, Guards against the Houston Rockets this season have eaten point guards and shooting guards. We saw D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards absolutely kill it versus Houston. Tonight, he's going to be playing against New Orleans. We talked about Brandon Ingram looking to make his return back into the lineup for the New Orleans Pelicans. So it'll be the likes of CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, maybe Herbert Jones plays, maybe some Najee Marshall, Jonas Valanciunas. So Russell will probably draw. I would guess that they would put CJ McCollum on him defensively. Okay defender, not an elite or great defender by any means. I'd imagine Brandon Ingram probably matches up with maybe Anthony Edwards. We'll see. They could put Herbert Jones on Ant. They could put Najee Marshall potentially on Ant. So we'll have to see how they match up. But I think D'Angelo Russell's got the easier matchup than Anthony Edwards would. So I like the matchup for D'Lo better than I do Ant-Man. Let's take a look here. We know the last 5 games have been particularly nice here for D'Angelo Russell, but what about beyond the last 5 games? You know, has he been getting buckets beyond the last 5 games? Let's look at the last 10 games. Last 10 at 18.5 points, 7 for 10. That's a 70% hit rate. In that 10-game span, 20.4 points per game. So yeah, he's definitely getting buckets here lately. Going 70% is no small feat. He has played the New Orleans Pelicans already once this season, dropped 27 points on their heads back on December 28th. So he's 1 for 1 against NOP. So that's good news. 1 for 1 with 27 points. Last 10 games, got that 70% hit rate. Looking at the last 30 games, 57% hit rate. He's got some games in there where he's kind of been hit or miss. But yeah, D'Angelo Russell's been absolutely cooking here lately. So I like what I'm seeing. 18.5 seems achievable against a team that he scored 27 on in a previous game. Just going through the splits real quick. Home games this season, 17.4 points per game average. When he plays on the road, he's averaging 17.8. So not a major difference. Slightly higher hit rates, though, in his road games. You can kind of see what he's done here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of his last 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 11 out of his last 17 games played on the road. Including that game against New Orleans when he had 27 points. So D'Angelo Russell's been cooking it up, man. Yeah, he's been playing good ball. Good ball. All right, let's go get you a projection here on his points. Russell projected for 18.9. Guys, he's at 18.5 on PrizePicks. Betting favorite, -125, -130 to go over for D'Angelo Russell, but we're also seeing him at a point lower, which is kind of concerning. FanDuel's got him at 17.5. PointsBet's got him at 17.5. Still a betting favorite to go over at 17.5. I just don't like the fact that we're paying more if we think D'Angelo Russell's going to go and have a good scoring night. We're paying a point higher on PrizePicks, so that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Projected well, great hit rates. 1 for 1 against New Orleans, but I don't like the fact that he's at 18.5. If we had him at 17.5, I'd feel a lot better about it. But you are paying a bit of a premium here. So keep that in mind. Which brings us to the last one, which is De'Aaron Fox. 23.5 points. Going up against Toronto. We know Toronto's a tough little defensive unit. They're going to be 100% healthy as well. So Van Vliet, Trent, Anunoby, Siakam, Scotty Barnes, all those guys going to be in there for the Toronto Raptors. So may not be an easy matchup for him, but he is coming off of a little bit of a down game against Memphis. Prior to that, though, 31 against Philadelphia. That's a tough matchup. 25 against OKC, 31 against LA. Squishy matchup there. And then San Antonio, he had 23. Came close, but no cigar. Close, but no cigar for De'Aaron Fox. So let's head to this Sacramento game as they look to host the Toronto Raptors tonight. Clicking on De'Aaron Fox's name here, gang. Fox had a little bit of a cold streak right in the middle of this 43-game log that we have here, right? There was like a cluster of about 10 games, 8 games it looks like, where he played really bad. Since then, things have really picked up for him. So he's hit the over at 23.5 points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 out of his last 20 games, he's hit the over. I like that. 15 out of his last 20, he's gone over 23.5. All right. Against Toronto this season, one game played, that was December 14th. He had 27 points against Toronto in that game. So that looks good. Flashing back to last season, he was 1 for 2 against the Raptors, 29 in one game, 17 in the other. Both of the games, interestingly enough, that he's hit against Toronto have both been on the road in Toronto. So he likes playing the Raptors, and he likes playing in Toronto, it seems like. 17 points back on November 19th of last season. So he went under in his only game against Toronto in the last 2 years in Sacramento. So let's look at his splits information here. He's averaging 24 points per game this season, 24.2 when he plays at home versus 23.8 when he plays on the road. Both averages are higher than 23.5. His last 10 home games or so, though, have been very good. 8 out of his last 10 home games, he has gone over 23.5. That's good for an 80% hit rate. And it's not often that he goes back-to-back games under 23.5. I mean, the last time that he's gone under 23.5 in back-to-back games, that was a while ago. During that cold streak, during that 8-game cold streak. So normally when he has a bad game like this one, he'll bounce back the next game. Down game comes back and hits in the next 3 games. Down game comes back and hits in the next 2 games. Down game comes back and hits in the next 3 games. So he had himself a down game against Memphis. Maybe we should buy low here at 23.5 and hope that he hits tonight against a Raptor squad that he's already had 27 points against earlier this season. So I'm with it. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. De'Aaron Fox is projected for 24.2 points, guys. He is a slight betting favorite at 23.5 to go over. So we're getting a good projection. A guy with great hit rates, 15 out of his last 20 games. He's exceeded 23.5 points. We're getting juice on the over as well on the sports books. So there's a lot to like about this one. I'm in on some Fox points. So for me, I would rank these. How would I rank these? I'm just a blocks and steals hater and a turnovers hater for the most part. So I'm going to put Jalen Williams third. I'm going to put De'Aaron Fox first, D'Angelo Russell second, and Jalen Williams third. You guys disagree or agree with that ranking? Fox points, Russell points, Jalen Williams stocks will be third for me. You guys like that ranking, or would you change the ranking? That's how I would rank them. Josh is saying Williams, Fox, and then Russell. Okay, so you're bringing Williams up from third and putting him first. You really believe in Williams hitting these stocks tonight. All right. I like that, Josh. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We got any other super chats that I've missed? Cesar. He says he was messing about the missed super chat. Keep up the great work. Much appreciated. Joining Patreon at the beginning of the month. Hey, Caesar, I know it was all jokes, man. I have missed a super chat before. Trust me. I have. It happens. So if I missed you, man, listen, I would not be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened. But I appreciate you leaving that super chat. I appreciate the well wishes and the kind message along with it. Snoop Dogg has just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Snoop Dogg, for subscribing. iDubbbz2010. Thank you for subscribing to the channel as well. Again, guys, we're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers by the end of this month. That means we need over 100 subscribers. It's going to be tough, like 150, I think it was when I last checked. But I think we could do it. I think we could get to 8,000 subscribers by the end of this week. I think we could do that. And I think we could also get 100 likes today. We've gone over 100 likes in back-to-back days, 2 days in a row. This would make for the third day that we've reached 100 or more likes. I can only hit the like button once. You guys that are watching, all of you that are watching, you can hit the like button though. We can run those likes up to over 100, all right? Dreaded Up Joker. Whew. That's a name right there, boy. Dreaded Up Joker. I just get these pictures in my head of the Joker with some green dreads. Yo, that's hard. Dreaded Up Joker coming through with the super chat. He likes John Collins' first half PRA. Let's run it, baby. let's see what we got, man. Maybe John Collins is in a great spot tonight. We talked about Clint Capela going up against OKC. First half fantasy score, especially if Okongwu is out. I would like some John Collins if DeAndre Hunter is out, for sure. Let's go NBA first half. NBA 1H. You said John Collins, dreaded up Joker. Damn, that name just hits different, man. I don't know, something about that. I like that. I like dreaded up Joker. All right. 11.5 first half PRA from a man, JC, John Collins. He's been dangled out there in a lot of trade rumors lately. I don't know. I don't know if I would trade John Collins. I think he fits pretty well with Atlanta, but hey, everybody's always looking to get better. I think they were talking about maybe him going to the Spurs, I wanted to say. I don't know. 13, though, first half PRA against Miami, 19 against Dallas, 15 against New York. He's had a couple of down games, so maybe it's time for him to snap back, to bounce back. Let's go pull this game up real quick using Prop Stat Cash. Atlanta versus OKC. We already talked about this one being a very high total game. This could be the type of game where John Collins succeeds, hopefully. We're going PRA, and then we're going to go first half only on John Collins in this 11.5 PRA. So what's the hit rates looking like? Well, 48%. Kind of a low hit rate. 11.9 PRA for the season, 11.9 in the last 10, and then 13 PRA in his last 5. So he's picked up the averages a little bit in the last 5 games. A lot of that has to do with that 19 PRA that he had against Dallas. But it's been kind of hit or miss here for Collins. 48% is not anything that I get too excited about. So for me, if like a DeAndre Hunter was out, then I would like this John Collins prop just a little bit more. Let's look at the home and road splits for this guy. Tonight he's on the road. At home this season, just 11 PRA. On the road, though, on the road is where it gets sweet. 12.8 PRA in the first half on the road. He's hit this in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7 out of his last 11 games played on the road, he's hit the over here. Averaging 14.5 in his last 10. All right, so he is averaging more PRA in the first half on the road than he is at home. Now, what would happen? What would happen if DeAndre Hunter was out? Well, let's take a look at that real quick. His average is 11.9 as it stands. If we take DeAndre Hunter out, games without DeAndre Hunter, it jumps up to 12. It gets a little bit better. This season, 5 games played without DeAndre Hunter. He's hit the over in 3 out of 5. Now, we can even take this a step further and see if we can find games without Hunter and Okongwu. Let's go see if we could do that. Okongwu. Boop. All right. So we got a total of 5 games dating back to last season. No, we got more than that. Hold up. We got more than that. Hold up. 9 out of his last 19 without Hunter and Okongwu. Dating back to last season, that's 47%. This season, there's just 1 game he played, and that was against Chicago. Went under his first half PRA. I'm not rocking with it, bro. I love you. I love John Collins, but, hey, I ain't going to tell you to take it. I'm going to say this looks a little iffy to me, a little sus. I'm not rocking with the John Collins PRA first half vibes here. I'm not rocking with it. All right, he did play OKC once last season, had 15 first half PRA. The matchup is probably a plus matchup for him, but I don't know, man. I got to fade this, bro. I got to fade it. I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? We laid it all out there. What do you guys think about John Collins' first half PRA? I mean, if Hunter's out, maybe I get a little bit more excited about it, but I don't know. He's probably still 3rd or 4th on the pecking order, even if DeAndre Hunter is out. You got to think it's going to be Trae Young. It's going to be a lot of Murray rather. So I'm going to stay away from that one. I got to stay away from that one, dreaded up Joker. I'm just not feeling it. Solo Heat, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that sub. Rocket Sauce is coming through with another super chat. The 777. That's a lucky number there. 777. Franz Wagner is the one Orlando guy I feel you can trust the most. Listen, Franz Wagner in the fourth quarter, the man. One of the best in the league this season when it comes to getting fourth quarter buckets. Franz Wagner has stepped up as our closer. Franz is absolutely a closer for us. I feel Franz Wagner is an Orlando guy I feel you can trust the most. Has a tasty matchup versus the Pacers. Was thinking the over on the PRA or the fantasy score. Thanks again, my friend. Okay, let me look at something real quick. While we got the data, while we got the information pulled up here, let's go Franz Wagner. I want to see what Franz Wagner's like first half points versus like second half points averages are looking like. So his first half points this season, 9.2 per game. Second half, 10.9 points per game. And that's really picked up over the last 10 games, 13.1. Last 5 games, 11.6. So if you have an opportunity to play some Orlando Magic second half props, don't sleep on Franz Wagner's second half points, okay? He is absolutely developed into a closer for Orlando. He's hit the second half points in 20 out of his last 30 games, 67% hit rate. The PRA in the second half, I'm not sure what that line would be. Let's say it's 13.5, 73% on the PRA. So, yeah, don't sleep on Franz Wagner in the second half. Just throwing that one out there. He might take a little bit of time to kind of get warmed up in the first half. Just 9 for 30 in the first half, but the second half is when Wagner comes alive. All right. Anyway, you're asking about Franz Wagner's PRA or possibly fantasy score. Let's look at the steals and blocks for Wagner, because that's the only way I really get on board with fantasy score. I mean, he's got some games in there where he's posting 2 or more stocks. But there's a lot of games where he posts like 1 or none. So I'd probably imagine that maybe his PRA is probably a better hit rate than his fantasy score. 27.5 PRA today. Let's look up Mr. Franz Wagner here. Again, I don't recommend playing any Orlando Magic props, but that's just me. Wagner's PRA, 25 for 46, 54% hit rate. What about some of these other options? 46 on the PR, 50% on the PA. So yeah, your rebounds, points, rebounds, and assists at 54% is going to be your best hit rate. But I mean, there's a lot of like marbling. We'll call it marbling here. A lot of red intertwined with the green, right? Like it's not a consistent hit rate. It's up and down. It's over. It's under. I mean, that's why I don't rock with the Magic, man, because every single night it seems like there's a different guy. It's like, hey, you might as well blindfold yourself and just like pick a name, pick a player. Is it Banchero? Is it Fultz? Is it Carter Jr.? Is it Wagner tonight? Like, hard to figure out this Orlando Magic squad. That's why I gave up a long time ago trying to figure it out. And of course, they just got Jonathan Isaac back. He played 9 minutes off the bench and had some very good productive minutes off the bench. He's probably going to earn himself more playing time. Bobo's still there. Mo Bamba, although he's a trade candidate, he's still in the mix. You got Mo Wagner getting minutes. It's overwhelming. Terrence Ross, Gary Harris. The Orlando Magic need to like unload some of these guys. They need to get these veterans off the team. Get T. Ross off the team. Get Gary Harris off the team. Get Mo Bamba off the team. Like, we need to thin the rankings, and like then we'll get a clearer picture of guys' roles, how they fit in the rotation, minutes, et cetera, et cetera. But this team's too deep, and there's too much talent. That's why I stay away from him, man. He has played Indiana twice this season, though. 37 PRA and 29 PRA. I will tell you this, the Orlando Magic around that time, middle to end of November, when he did this against Indiana, 37 and 29, we were not as healthy as we are now. This is the healthiest the Orlando Magic has been all season long. There's only one guy, Chuma Okeke, who is not in the rotation, who is still on the injured reserve list. We've got basically full strength Orlando Magic right now. So yeah, he had 37 and 29 against Indiana, but the players that were available for Orlando during that period, a lot less options there. So Wagner was taking on a bigger role. His usage was probably way higher. So you can't compare what he did against Indiana then to what the situation is now with all the healthy bodies that Orlando has. So I'm just going to continue to suggest and recommend you fade Orlando. All right. Unless you're friends with one of these guys and they said, hey, tonight I'm going to take 5 extra shots for you. Then you go ahead and you bet the over on Franz Wagner. Anyway, he is playing in Orlando tonight. He's got better hit rates at home, 29.8 PRA per game. That's 2.3 PRA higher. You got these little clusters where he'll hit 3 in a row, then he misses. 3 in a row, then he misses. 2 in a row, misses. 3 in a row, miss. Hit, miss, hit. It's playing whack-a-mole, man. It's like you never know. You just never know. So, yeah, you are catching him in a positive split situation. Has better numbers at home than he does on the road. On the road, 25.9 PRA. At home, 29.8 PRA. So almost a 4 PRA difference for Wagner. So if you do want to roll the dice on him, tonight's the night to do it. Playing in Orlando, this is the time for you to possibly pounce on Franz Wagner here. Projected for 28.8 PRA. He's at 27.5 across the board, minus 120 betting favorite. So you're not getting a ton of juice on the over at 27.5. If you take this guy, take him sparingly. But definitely, if they post a second half number for Franz Wagner's points or PRA, take the over on that because my guy gets it going in that second half. So he's a second half killer. All right. You want to see Cole Anthony's points on Fantasy Labs. Just his points. Cole Anthony's points. Here you go. 10.2. Betting favorite to go under at 11.5. There you go. We got another super chat that trickled in from Adele. Thank you again, man. You are just blessing me, and I appreciate that. Adele's leaving a super chat asking, last one for today. What about James Harden's points, rebounds, and assists? The beard, James Harden. Let's go. Let's run it. Philadelphia taking on Brooklyn. Wow. Yeah. James Harden versus the Brooklyn Nets tonight. Is Harden going to get in his bag? He could. I mean, shoot, look at the last 5 games. 4 out of his last 5, he's gone over 39.5. Barely limped over with 40. Of course, everybody knows what happened against the Los Angeles Clippers. James Harden took the night off. I think that was a Taco Tuesday night. James Harden must have had too many tacos or something before the game because he did not play very well. Prior to that, though, 44 against LA, 48 against Utah, and a 45er against the OKC Thunder. So, going PRA here, heading over to the Brooklyn-Philadelphia game. We got the Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Brooklyn Nets. James Harden sitting at 18 out of 30 this season on 39.5 PRA. That's a 60% hit rate. What about just his points and his assists? Is that a better hit rate? 57%. What about the rebounds and assists? 43%. Points and rebounds, 53%. All right, PRA, 60%. That's going to be the move from what it looks like. That's going to be the best move. But 18 for 30, 60%, 39.2 PRA per game average. That's lower than 39.5. He has not played Brooklyn. Played them last season, had just 22 PRA. We'll throw that one out. Has not played Brooklyn. I don't think he's played Brooklyn in Brooklyn yet since the trade. Has he? No, this was in Philadelphia. I guess the game tonight's going to be in Philadelphia too, huh? Okay. All right. Harden's on 5 days rest. Well rested. We're going to get a well-rested Beard tonight. He's hit the over, though, on his PRA in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of his last 7 games. So he's got a nice little 6 out of 7 hit rate going. At home, 40.4 PRA per game. That's 10 for 16, 63% hit rate. All right. 10 for 16, 63%, 40.4. So you're catching him in a good split situation. He averages less PRA on the road, significantly less, only 37.8 PRA when he plays on the road versus 40.4 PRA when he plays at home. I like that. Better at home. We're catching him at home, and he's going up against his former team, the Brooklyn Nets. All right? I can dig it. I can dig it. Let's get you a Harden projection. Ooh, that's not a good projection. His projection today, 36.7. That's about 3 PRA lower than the 39.5. They've also got Harden as a betting favorite to go under, man. Minus 120 to go under 39.5. Maybe they think there's going to be a little bit of rust. He's been sitting out for 5 or 6 days now. So last game was on January 19th. It's January 25th. So, I don't know. I kind of like it, though. I think you take it, Adele, in at least one entry. Make it a flex. Don't power it, and see how it goes. But it is a what the EV crowd out there would say, a negative EV play, not a plus EV play. Okay, so you're going against the odds, against the grain, if you think Harden is going to go for over, and you're going against the projection if you think Harden's going to go for more than 39.5 PRA. All right, gang. Listen, it's 2:11. Been here for over 2 hours. We're not going to do what we did yesterday and go for 3.5 hours. I'm getting out of here. Good luck on all your entries tonight. Guys, we will be talking more player props tomorrow. Make sure that if you want to get entered to win a risk-free 2-pick power play to get $100 on PrizePicks, that you subscribe, you like, and then go to the comments after this live show stream ends. The replay gets posted to YouTube. You go to the YouTube comment section. You comment your favorite pick, prop, or play of the day, and you could be like Chris Day and win yourself one of those 2-pick power plays on PrizePicks. All right? God bless. Good luck, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.